Look, it's been a hard pre-season. The boys have worked really hard. We set up a gym programme for them not long after the season finished, so they had maybe 4 or 5 weeks off then at the gym. So a lot of work getting done there. That's been transferred into the sessions. You can see a difference in the physicality, the intent in attack and defence. And we showed a bit of evidence of that on Saturday against GHA. We scored some really good tries, but a lot to improve on in certain areas of our game.
Because this time last year, I think you played against Biggar, didn't you? And from the lower league, and they actually put a lot of points on you. So a much better pre-season.
Yeah, a better start in terms of games. Okay, because I think it was 50 points. As you say, Biggar put on us, which was disappointing. But however, a lot of evidence of what we've been doing over the last few weeks against GHA. But again, it's just the first game, and a lot to work on, and that starts tonight. The boys are in the gym right now before the session starts, and we'll put a good hour and a half in the track.
How difficult is it to prepare for your first competitive match, which this will be?
Difficult, okay, because as I say, we've got the whole group of new players still here, but then we've got some new ones coming in. It's just to gel everybody together. Everybody knows the calls. The attack structures have changed. The way we defend changed a little bit, and look, it's about working really hard in the training park every week, and boys starting to understand their roles, and roles and responsibilities. And once they know that, then it'll come. Each week it will come, but start the league games coming pretty quickly, so we need to learn quickly now. And we've got 2 weeks, and then we're into our first Premier League game, which is going to be very difficult.
So a good time to mention about the ins and the outs for this season then. You've lost Scott McClymont, I think Zen's gone as well. Yes. Who else is out and who else is in?
Well, as you mentioned, Zen and Scott's out, unfortunately. It's a bit disappointing, but it is what it is. In is Corey Tate, Jack Fisher from Burrymuir. We've got Taylor Wilson, who came over from Gala, and Ethan Wilson who's come over for Gala, and we've got a prop coming up from down south, because that's the start training was this week, from Eland Trailfinders, and we've got another back rower coming in hopefully next week.
It's very difficult to get front row, isn't it?
It's extremely difficult, but we're getting there. It's took a long time, but we're eventually getting there. But the other key is that there's a lot of good boys coming up from the youth club this year. Oliver McClymont is one, Craig Cochrane is another one, Brodie Allen, Finlay Smith. So they're all quality players coming up there who have done really well at the youth level, and now they're going to see how they get on at senior level.
And the boy McClymont, of course, we've already had a good glimpse of him last season, and very impressive.
Yeah, the thing with Oliver is he's a talented rugby player, and he can play 2 or 3 positions, which is crucial, I think, going into this league campaign, that you've got that cover.
How difficult is it to actually recruit over the season? Because it's a question I get asked a lot, and I can never really kind of give them an answer, because every club has a different way of doing it. What's the Selkirk way?
It's difficult. You've got to target players who are really making sure that any player that comes in here is just as good or better than what you've got. So they're going to make a massive difference. Like Jack and Corey will make a massive difference from experience from Super 6. So they're good, intelligent rugby players, but also they've got a bit of edge about them. Taylor Wilson, who hasn't played for a year because he's been coming for ACL, I'm really excited about Taylor playing a big part in our back row this year. So he'll get his first outing against Jed. And it's about, I think it's about us starting earlier in the recruiting process and getting it done instead of going through all the way through pre-season. And I think it's just learning, I think, as well, and it's picking out the players and getting them in early, get everything settled, and then pushing on the pre-season.
Is there such a thing as a protocol for amateur rugby? I know there is obviously in professional rugby, but or is it a case of just everyone chats to each other?
I think it's a difficult question to answer, because I think you just target the guys who are going to make a difference to the club, and I think they've got to buy into the culture of this club as well, not just anybody. Borders is a really good place to be. It's a small community place. Everybody is, it's a small squad, but it's a learning squad, and I think once we get up and running, I think we'll get better and better each week. Our focus has been competitive every week. If we're competitive every week, then we're staying in the game. Okay, if we're not competitive, then, as you said, a lot of Super 6 boys coming down, your Ayr, Heriots, Watsons, we'll have a lot of Super 6 boys. There's going to be big games, and the competitive edge and the physicality is just going to be up at another level from last year. Playing over 12 games, and you've got 22 league games. So that's going to be pretty rotational in the boys throughout the season.
And of course 3 going down this year, which gives it an extra bit of spice, and presumably that's the first target to get away from that relegation zone.
That's right. It's just another edge onto the tournament, an enhanced Premiership, 12 teams. It's exciting. We know what we need to do. Okay, but getting back to my point, every week we just need to make sure we stay in the game, be competitive, and then we'll come away with points. We will get points if we play to our abilities.
What's the mood in the camp like? Is it one of nervousness, excitement, or because the boys don't have much fear, do they, about them?
No, a bit of both. They're looking forward to it. I think it's Mar's a good first game. It's away from home. There's
Great record against Mar.
There's nothing to fear going through there, and just give it a go for 80 minutes and see what happens. Because I think every team will have changes. Every team will be bringing new squads together, and we'll be ready for the day and give it a go.
Youth development is obviously very important for every club, and of course no different in Selkirk. We've seen some great boys coming up through the ranks who've kind of fitted in seamlessly over the last couple of years. Who are you looking forward to in particular from the Selkirk youth players who are going to be coming up for the first time?
Well, we've mentioned Oliver already. I think Brody Allen's a talent. Okay, he's going to be playing up a year young, as is Finlay Smith. Hopefully, get some senior rugby in him as well. So there's 3 players already that's come through the Selkirk youth system that are quality players. Okay, who's going to make a difference for Selkirk for many years. It's about managing them, drip feeding them into Prem game time. Okay, so they develop in the right way and not just pushing them in and letting them see how they get on. I think so I think we're well on top of that. They've trained really well over the summer. They've no looked out of place. It's just a matter of now just drip feeding them into senior rugby and giving them game time.
And of course I mentioned it's so important to develop a relationship with Selkirk High School and the surrounding areas as well to bring these boys in.
Of course, yeah. Of course, it's not a massive high school, but what we do. With John Rutherford in the youth club and Kieran Westlake as the DO, is we've got a really good structure in place to bring not just under 18s but under 16s and below through the systems. So now from this year, I think in total about 7 or 8 boys have come through. So if you get that every year, every second year, that's a good lot of boys to come through and develop.
And I'm glad you mentioned John Rutherford there, because he is one of the unsung heroes of a club. Every club should have a John Rutherford, and they don't really exist, do they? Because he is on the gate, he does the work with the kids and stuff, he keeps a low profile, but my goodness, he puts a shift in.
Oh, he does. John just, as you say, every club should have a John Rutherford. His attitude and he just loves his rugby, and he loves developing, or being involved in developing youngsters at Selkirk, and he's got a good a load of coaches there in the 16s and under 18s are now together at Selkirk. So they're all trained together, and you've got a good group of coaches and management team, and John's put all that together. He's done a great job.
Well, we're looking forward to the new season. We're looking forward to see how Selkirk does as well. We wish you all the best.
Okay, thanks, Stuart.